What's up, guys? Dante, aka Game Fit of All Games here, back with yet another Dramascripted Saturday, but on a Sunday because I was busy all day yesterday watching a magnificent 7 hours of wrestling. I'm going to give you my review and thoughts on Final Battle, and I'm also going to give you a small review and thoughts on NxT's Deadline. So here we go. The first match on Final Battle, it was Blake Christian and AR Fox versus Draciano and RoH. And boy, this did RoH just get straight to work. Like, he fucking annihilated Blake Christian, throwing him into each guardrail, just heavily destroying him, and like very like fast and violent. Like this I don't want to say this match got out of hand, but this match kind of got crazy. And then he started choking him with the production cable, and Blake Christian had to like bite the cable so he wouldn't like, get choked to death. It was crazy. Then back and forth. They didn't get back in the ring. There's some spots. And then AJ Fox hits a 540 splash to get to 1-2, and it looks like it was an accidental 3. I don't know. It looks like he kicked out the same time the referee hit 3, but it's in the record books that Blake Griffin and AJ Fox beat Dramascripted and RoH. So that was a very fucking fantastic way to start off Final Battle. Next on the card, we had Athena versus Mercedes Martinez for the RoH Women's title. This match was surprisingly very slow paced. I'm just gonna speculate that Mercedes wasn't fully recovered from her injuries. That's why the match was like, slow paced, or she's not, back into the wrestling rhythm. But it was still a good match. And Athena, in her hometown of Texas, she wins the RoH Women's title. So, I mean, I've been following Athena since she was called Ember Moon at the other company called NxT, which we're gonna review that show later on. But that was also a very good match. So I enjoyed that. Next, we have Shane Taylor Promotions versus Swerve in their glory. And man, oh man, this storyline between Swerve and Keith Lee is about to pick up on Dynamite. So they go through the match. They're going through the match. It was a good match. There was also some spots between Keith Lee and Sean Taylor, because if you know the history between those two in RoH, that's Keith Lee leaving him behind to go to NxT. It's crazy. This was all 6-7 years ago. It's crazy how time flies. But there was a spot where Keith Lee accidentally hits Swerve. And Swerve took that some type of way, and he winded up leaving Keith Lee on his own. And Keith Lee by himself still winds up winning the match. Unlike it was reversed when Swerve was trying to cheat against the Acclaim. When Keith Lee left, Swerve couldn't win it on his own, and they lost that match. But Keith Lee wins the match without Swerve after Swerve was leaving him to dry. So this is interesting. I don't know how long they're gonna do this feud. Obviously, it's going to lead to, we're going to get Swerve obviously versus Keith Lee. I'm assuming that's the end game of this promotion. And like I know I got the Matt Hardy delete hair going on, but it's very good. It's long-term booking. I don't like it. I don't think they could drag it all the way to Revolution, because that's too far. Revolution is in March, so I don't think they could drag it for another 3 months. But they could probably do something in one of their themed TV shows that AEW always has. So probably they could do something with it in January. That's just my perspective on it, and I can't wait to see that. Then we have Embassy versus, oh my goodness, Don Castle and the Boys. And Don Castle and the boys put up a good fight. They were using their speed. They were using their agility, their quick athleticism to get around the MSC. But then Brian Cage and MSC, they just started just wrecking face and just picking up people and just slamming them anywhere. And Brian Cage and MSC are your new RoH trio tag champs. So that happened. So, and then we have Wheeler Yuta versus Dan Garcia for the RoH Pure title, this was interesting how Garcia was able to, I don't want to use the Pure rules in his favor. He kept doing submissions in the rope breaks, which would force the referee, since Garcia is the one that implied the submission in the rope break, it forced the referee to do a count. And then the rope break usage was charged against Yuta, since Yuta is the one that's in the submission. So he did that tactic 2 times. And then he had a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. And then Yuta himself had no choice but to use his last rope break. And our irony, how this match finished, was Wheeler Yuta just, beating the crap out of him with Bryan Danielson elbows, to the fact that Garcia just passed out and the referee had to ring the bell. And then Yuta Wheeler is your new RoH Pure champion. So I like the match, very technical, as all Pure matches should be because of the rules. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that match. That match was good. Then we had, oh my God, we had probably the most vicious match that I have ever seen in the past probably all my life of wrestling. We had them boys, the Briscoes, versus FDR in a double dog collar change match, and this shit was a fucking bloodbath. This was the most craziest bat shit match I've ever seen. Like I'm talking like this was CZW types of fucking craziness. The only thing that was missing from this match was glass and thumbtacks. Surprisingly, we didn't get those, but we got everything else. There was blood everywhere. There was a spot with Dax taking his own dog chain and putting it into his forehead and then jumping on top of Jay Briscoe and then nailing that. Everyone was busted open. Dax started with white tights. They were red at the end of this match. There was a dangerous hurricane flip with Cash and the other Briscoe brothers that flipped outside. I was afraid something was going to get caught and someone was going to get hung. It would just go watch that match. Find it somewhere on the internet. Find the Briscoes versus FDR Final Battle 2022. You will not waste your time. That match was entertaining throughout the very end, and the Briscoe brothers wind up winning and get their 13th RoH title reign. And in extraordinary fashion. Then we had Juice Robinson versus Samoa Joe for the RoH TV title. A very good match. Unfortunately, the Bullet Club and me obviously wanted Juice Robinson to win, but they decided to keep the TV title on Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe retains. And then we have the main event. We have Claudio versus The Ocho, Chris Jericho for the RoH World Heavyweight title. And this match was magnificent. The crowd was very into it. Every time the referee had to count to 8 or anything that had insisted of people counting to 8, the crowd collectively yelled out Ocho because Chris Jericho is the Ocho. Chris Jericho did a sick spot where Cesaro was gonna Claudio. Claudio was gonna go for the giant swing. He blocked it and reversed it into the walls of Jericho. Claudio was able to get out of it. And then how the match ended was Claudio did the giant swing for roughly 32 to 33 seconds, and Chris Jericho tapped out, thus making the giant swing a submission hold now, all of a sudden, which was great. And honor has been restored in Ring of Honor, with Claudio being a 2-time now RoH World Heavyweight Champion. So fantastic match, great story. Nice 80-day run by Chris Jericho, the Ocho, with him having the RoH champion for it to end that final battle. Then we're going to do a quick review of Survivor Series. A new Survivor's Iron match was made. I'm on the fence with this match. I know it's something new, but I'm really, really on the fence with it. The first one was the female one, and Roxanne Perez won, so she will be challenging Mandy Rose for the women's NXT title. But it's because I remember Roxanne getting pinned the most in that match. So she was out for 180 seconds total because she got pinned twice. But then she was the only person to pick up 2 pinfalls. So it's like, besides the time penalty, it really didn't affect her and she still won. So I don't know. It was a great match. Then it was Aaliyah Fire and also Dawn. Halfway that match, Dawn put like some spiritual spell on the referee, and then the referee had black stuff coming out the mouth. Dawn took advantage. Dawn wins. We got New Day versus Pretty Deadly, and a funny spot where Pretty Deadly brung in the tag titles to use it. Xavier took the tag title away, then like threw it back at him, and then they all 4 of them played like Eddie Guerrero, like they all got hit. The referee couldn't find out who did what because all 4 men were laid out thinking that they got hit with the belt. No one got hit with the belt actually, and then the referee just took the belt and put it back outside. But New Day wins. So now they are the second. They're the second because the Revival did it first, or FTR, whatever you want to call them. Revival did it first. Now it's New Day as another Triple Crown Tag Team Champion. So New Day's won NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and Raw and SmackDown Tag Titles. They won all 3, just like the Revival. So that is that. I do not know what the plans are for Pretty Deadly because they pretty much ruled both UK NXT, and when they indirectly combined UK NXT with NXT, they ruled NXT too with the tag title. So I don't know, are they going to get called up to the main roster? I think they should because they're kind of lacking tag teams up on the main roster. And then I don't know how long that WWE is going to keep the New Day in NXT. So, but obviously they're going to put over the young talent. That's why they're there. And also NXT needs ratings because their ratings have been looking pretty bad. Speaking of the ratings, I know I didn't start off this show with the ratings. They will be pinned in the comment section below me. And probably since I'm doing this on a Saturday, I may have the SmackDown ratings as well. But that's that. Men's Iron Survivor match, in my opinion, was better than the females. A lot more action, a lot more pinfalls. Walter wins. He was the only person that was able to get 3 falls. And then the record was Walter 3, 2, 2, 2, and then 0. Then the main event, Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews for the NXT title. I want to say this is up there with Apollo Crews' best match. This is just my opinion. I know he had the whole thing with, he had a few with Bob, no, not Bobby Lashley, sorry, with Big E that lasted for a while, and then Big E got hurt. So I'm gonna say this is up there with Apollo Crews' best work, but he wasn't able to pull it off. He still never won the NXT title, and Braun Breaker wins the match with the spear. And I'm also want to know when they're going to bring Braun Breaker up to the main roster, because I feel like it's time. I feel like he's been champion for the past 6 months. Don't quote me on that. I may be wrong, but I feel like he's been NXT champion for like half a year. So I think he's ready to get brought up too. But that's just my opinion, and there you have it. Final Battle was the better show. If we're going to compare Final Battle to Deadline, Final Battle was the better show. If you do not have 7 hours to spare, I suggest the matches you should watch is Them Boys. And when I say Them Boys, I'm talking about the Briscoes versus FTR. Jericho versus Claudio. And you could throw Shane Taylor Promotions versus Swerve in Their Glory. And when it comes to Deadline, watch the men's Iron Survivor Series match. New Day versus Pretty Deadly and Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews. If you don't have the time to watch all 7 hours, watch those matches I just listed. And in non-Dramascripted news, we're still at a standstill when it comes to Sasha Banks. The main thing seems to be money, still ongoing. There is a rumor going around, or there's something going around saying that Sasha will be at Wrestling Kingdom. But it's unsure, will she be part of the Wrestling Kingdom card, or will she just be there just to be there in attendance? But that's still going around. I'm a fan of her work, so I'm going to watch Wrestling Kingdom anyway. So if she's on the card, that's just more of a plus for all of us wrestling fans. But when it comes to her return to the WWE, it's still looking like it's coming down to money. Wherever she ends up, I wish the best from her. Obviously, wherever she goes, I'm going to try to watch all her matches. So, and if she decides never to wrestle again, then, she had a good run. But that's going to wrap this up in this Dramascripted Saturday on a Sunday, because 7 hours of wrestling kind of took up all my time, so I couldn't make the video. If you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I will try to get a Dramascripted Saturday out every Saturday or Sunday, or if latest on a Monday. I'll try to get a wrestling video out once a week. But until next time, guys, I'm Game Fiend, Feed of All Games, and I'm out of here. Later, and peace. Be safe, everyone.